What's up? Welcome to the new home gym. Let me turn the music off here. Alright, what's up guys? So, Thursday morning, leg day. But we have a little something special here. I'm in my garage actually. And I just scrambled together. Yesterday I scrambled together a bunch of gym equipment. Thankfully, our neighbors were kind enough to lend us some old gym equipment they had just laying around that they weren't using. So they're letting us borrow it for this time being while everything is shut down, so that's awesome. Thank you so much. So what we got, let me show you here. I'm gonna switch the angle. So what we have here, we just got a bench rack here. Adjustable obviously, so you can do incline, flat bench, whatever you need to do. On the end, has a leg extension ham curl machine. And for leg day today, a huge help is gonna be, we can flip this around, flip the racks around here, and we can actually squat from it. So I'm gonna do squats today. Because it's been a minute since I've done squats. Over here, they gave us a bunch of plates, 245s, 235s, 225s, 210s, a few 5s, and then some cookies. Got a little bit of dumbbells here. Agility ladder, I probably won't ever use that really because I don't do any athletic stuff really much anymore. We got some stretch bands. They gave us a straight bar with a bunch of little plates to attach to it, so that's awesome. And then, yeah, I also have my own equipment that I have over here. I have my adjustable dumbbells, which will still be awesome. I love these things. And then also all right, sorry about that. I think my card just cut out real quick there. It's pretty full right now, so I had to delete some quick stuff off of it. But yeah, so I have also my own equipment there. I don't know if that was still shown in the last clip. The Bowflex bench, adjustable dumbbells, super helpful. And thankfully enough, I was able to clear up some space in this garage. So again, it's not optimal, but I have everything I really need here, so we have no reason to complain at all. So what my plans are for today is I'm gonna take you guys through an advanced training session. What I mean by that is if you've been training for a few years and you wanna know how advanced lifters like myself would train, I'm gonna explain everything that I'm going through in my own mindset. And this is gonna be a training session I wouldn't give or recommend beginners to do, because after a time you build up more stamina, more endurance, more strength, and you can adjust to things like this. So if you've been training for a little bit, you want to know what an advanced lifter trains like because you want to train like that yourself, stay tuned, pay attention to what I'm doing here. I'll explain it all. So let's get started. Alright guys, so the first movement we have today, I just did a little 5-minute like jogging around, kind of dancing around, looking like an idiot. But I got my heart rate up, got some blood flowing, so I'm going to call that good for now. So first movement, we're going to start out with leg extensions. And in terms of advanced lifting, there's not really a right or wrong way, but typically you're never going to start out with a heavy compound movement just because if you go right into a compound movement, your body, your joints most importantly, are not ready to move a lot of weight. So we usually like to start out with an isolation movement. Still go really hard on it. And yes, we're gonna be fatigued for that compound movement, but it's not about how much weight you can lift, it's how effective, how appropriately you can lift the weight while breaking down enough muscle fiber. So if anything, doing an isolation, fatiguing ourselves a little bit is gonna save us for the compound lift, and we're gonna feel better on it, even though we can't lift as much weight. So because our joints are gonna be more warmed up, our blood's gonna be to the muscle better. So I'm gonna do the quads here because my squat is gonna be pretty heavy quad focused. So that's why I'm gonna do leg extensions right here. So with every movement advanced lifters do, we do warm-ups before every working set. So it doesn't matter if it's a movement we think we're already warmed up, we're still gonna do at least 1 or 2 warm-up sets to get that muscle and mind connected to the movement. So no weight right here. I'm just gonna do a few warm-ups, get the blood flowing, and then I'll increase the weight working up to my working set, or working weight. So if you're someone like me and you do a high intensity training approach, like most advanced lifters, we're gonna do a high intensity training. You're gonna hear all this volume bullshit. And let's say that volume training or training high volume doesn't necessarily work. But when you train high volume, you oftentimes neglect the intensity, which is, in my opinion, the most crucial thing to building muscle. So we're not gonna do all these sets. So I just worked up here to a working set. I have 2 25s on here, a 45, then 2 10s. I'm still getting used to this machine too. But I'm gonna do this for my first working set. And I'm only gonna be doing 2 sets here, but they're gonna be pretty high intensity sets. So this first set you're gonna see here, I'm not gonna push myself to failure, but then after this, I'm gonna do a set to failure with some partial reps. So pretty much the main concept of every sort of advanced training routine is for every lift, you're pretty much gonna be working up to a top, very hard set. And the goal is you're only gonna be doing maybe anywhere from like 3 to 6 hard sets per your workout. And throughout the week, per muscle group, so say for my chest, throughout the week I'd maybe only do 6 to 10 really hard sets throughout the week, if that's the way you wanna look at it. In total for sets though, I'm still getting anywhere from like, anywhere from 10 to 20 total sets per muscle group per week, if that makes sense too. So hard sets, which actually really matter, those are the reps that make you grow, anywhere from 6 to 10. Total sets, anywhere from like 10 to 20 per week. So this is not a hard set. It's gonna be count towards like just a normal set. I'm gonna be going anywhere from like RPE 7 to 9. So I'm leaving anywhere from like 3 to 2 reps in the tank here. Still gonna be working hard, but just not to failure. And like always, control the weight. The more you control the weight, the more your muscle's gonna respond. So those are about 11 good solid reps right there, not to failure. So this next set, that's gonna be my set to failure. I usually do about 1 working set and then I go to a set to failure after about 3 to 4 warm-up sets. Because like I said, I'm just working up to find that kind of working weight. So the next set, I'm gonna go to failure, but not too hard after failure, like not push past it, because I wanna fatigue my muscles, get my joints warmed up for my squat, but I don't wanna be overly fatigued. It sounds kind of complicated, but you kind of find a sweet spot for your starting out weight. So I'm gonna work to failure for this next set. I got 11 reps there. For failure, I'll probably get around, probably around 15, I'm guessing. Cause I had about 3 or 4 reps in the tank right there. So I'll show you guys that set. Top set to failure. So that was a high intensity set. That was a top set, 2 failure plus past failure with the assisted reps at the end. So a high intensity set, that's a different kind of set. There's sets to failure, there's high intensity sets, there's sets not to failure. So pretty much every workout I do, set to failure, so about 6 sets to failure for each workout. 3 of those sets to failure, I'm gonna do, or actually 2 of those sets to failure, I'm gonna do a high intensity set where I push past failure. So that was an example of one right there. High intensity sets like that, they're best done on machines or not big heavy compounds, just because you have a higher chance to injure yourself on compounds. So there, I'll push past failure by grabbing the weight, forcing the weight up, and then controlling the negative. So I always recommend lift as heavy as you possibly can, but do it in a controlled way. Like you see, I wasn't throwing the weight all around. It was controlled, moving slow, and that's the way to do that. Isolation, leg extension. Now I'm gonna go into my first compound. And you know, most days, sometimes I even do 2 to 3 isolation exercises before I get to a big heavy compound. So we're gonna do barbell squat right now. Kind of like a middle to narrow stance for me. This is more like a quad focus emphasis on it, I'd say. But anyways, just like every movement, I'm gonna work up and wait until I get to a weight that's hard that I can get for a working set. And then the reps for this, we're gonna do 3 working sets for this, not 2. And an 8-8-8 scheme. So we're gonna do a set of 8, increase the weight, set of 8, none of these sets are to failure. And then the last set, increase the weight. We're gonna do a really freaking hard set. And I don't wanna say it's completely to failure, but I'm gonna call it failure just because when you're on a big compound like this, if you train completely to failure, like you can't complete a rep, you're gonna be screwed because you have this big heavy weight in your back and you're gonna probably injure yourself. So what I like to say with big compounds, when I say train to failure, is just go until you can't complete another rep with perfect form. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna most likely try and have that set be 225, but we'll see. So I'm gonna get warmed up and I'll let you guys know when I get to my working weight. These are low bar squats, by the way. Good and controlled. So as you can see, that's pretty hard, but I could have easily done more, so it wasn't a failure. All right, so I'm all warmed up, obviously, and I did my first 2 working sets. You guys saw the first one of 8 reps. I did the second set of 205. Now I have 225 on the bar. This is my last and top set, so this set's gotta be freaking hard, man. Like, you can't leave anything left in the tank here, and obviously you need to be smart, but at the same time, you can't be overly smart and sell yourself short and like stop before you actually can. So, like I said here, I'm going until I can't complete another rep with good form. And since I'm relatively advanced at this and I've got experience with this, so I can kind of tell when my body has one more, doesn't have one more. So I'm really good at that. But if you're new to advanced training, it might take you a little bit to really gauge how your body responds to certain lifts. And it might just take some practice. But for me, I have a pretty good understanding of where my body's at in regards of how close it is to failure. So let's kill this set. It's gonna be freaking hard. For me at least. Some of you, this might not be a lot of weight, but for me, I'm only caring about where I'm at, not where anyone else is at. So for me, this is gonna be an awesome time. Let's get it. Okay, so that was my top set. Really, if not failure, really, really close to it. So I'm gonna call that good there. Now I'm gonna go into my direct hamstring work. And just like I did before I got into like my main quad work, we did an isolation movement to get our joints and tendons and everything warmed up, so we protect those. So I'm gonna start with another isolation movement before I go into a compound. So I'm gonna do just a leg curl here. So same concept, warming up and wait until I get to that weight that's kind of hard, heavy, and that's when I know I'm gonna use that weight for my working sets. So my concept for warming up, on isolation movements like this, I'll literally just throw on a piece of weight, do a bunch of reps with it, anywhere from like 20, throw on some more weight, do a bunch of reps, slightly less reps, more weight, slightly less reps, and just kind of keep going until I find that weight. Really, really simple. And on isolations, I don't really rest in between those sets, just keep adding on weight, going. That'd be different if it was a compound, like a squat. I wouldn't just go back to back to back. I'd give myself at least 2 minutes, 3 minutes to rest in between each set. But for isolations like this, don't worry about resting between your warm-up sets, just keep going. So this set right here, I'm gonna show you guys not to failure, leave a few reps in the tank. Still gonna be really hard, but just not to failure. All right, so right there was a good example of listening to your body, because I thought I was gonna get that weight for anywhere from 10 to 12 reps, so I'm gonna have to drop the weight actually, because I only got 8 reps there. But because I'm familiar with how my body is reacting and everything, I stopped at 8 reps because I knew if I went to 10 to 12, I'd hit failure. So I didn't want to hit failure on that set. So instead, I just stopped a little bit short. I knew that my body was fighting through those tough reps. So for this next set, I'm gonna drop the weight a little bit more so I can get a little bit more volume, because we still need to pay attention to some volume, but that's just not our main priority here. So I'm gonna drop the weight probably 10, 15 pounds so I can get a little bit more reps, but this next set, I'm gonna go all out to failure. Okay, it's starting to hurt right now, but I ain't stopping. You have to push through the pain. Like it's gonna hurt. Flip that switch in your head. Can't do any more, so I'm going to do partials. Keep them controlled. Damn. Okay. So that was an example of it being really painful. Like,
Wasn't gonna injure myself at all because my form was good, kept it controlled. But your muscles are gonna fatigue and they're gonna burn. And that pain is what you need to fight through. And it started hurting probably around 10 reps. I was able to squeeze out 15 reps before I did partials. So that was like 5 reps fighting through pain, like it killed. And I would actually call that a high intensity set, like past failure, because I did the partials at the end when I couldn't do any more. A straight set to failure would just be you hit failure and then stop. High intensity would be you hit failure and then continue to do some form of repetition. So it's hamstring curl. All right, so just got warmed up for RDLs. For these, I'm not gonna push myself to failure on these just because I don't know, RDLs, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with them. They're really effective, really great for your hamstrings. But at the same time, I don't like to go to failure because it kind of, if you go too hard on these, like it bugs your lower back. I prefer to save the failure kind of thing if it was like a machine of some sort. But for these, I'm gonna just go like RPE 8, RPE 9 every set. Still be working very hard, but just not go to complete failure just because I don't want to injure myself on these. Plus I'm going to failure on like everything else I do, so it's okay. But I'm gonna demonstrate for these real quick. Actually, to restate what I just said about not going to failure, I guess you can say I kind of do go to failure on these just because I go until my lower back starts to give out. Because before my glutes or hams give out, my lower back is always going to give out on RDLs. So I go until I can start to feel that round a little bit. And once that rounds a little bit, that's when I'm done. Because as soon as that starts rounding, you can mess up your discs, your spinal cord. You don't want to mess up low back or anything at all. So I keep that safe as I can. So only go until you start to feel that lower back start to really fatigue and round. So don't go past that. And as far as the sets and reps go, I'm just doing 3 standard sets here. Yes, I still do standard sets of like, I'm doing anywhere from 8 to 10 reps per set. So that's what we're doing for these. All right, so I finished up RDLs. Now the next thing we're gonna do is a dumbbell split squat. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this workout's been kind of a challenge for me just because it's been in a new area. I don't have all the machines I'm used to, so with legs, I use a lot of machines for like accessory work and stuff like that. I don't really have those right now, so having to get creative, doing stuff I haven't done before, and I never really do dumbbell split squats. So I'm gonna do them today. What I'm gonna do is warm up my weight like I'm doing right now, warming up, and then I'm gonna do 2 sets. First set, not to failure. Second set, really, really close to failure, if not failure, form failure. And then I'm gonna do a drop set with the dumbbell at the end. So another high intensity set. So you'll see here, I'll keep everything in line, good form, good everything, and then another high intensity set. All right, I'm all warmed up. I did my first working set, not to failure. So this set, I'm gonna go to failure, and it's single leg, so I'm gonna give myself a little bit of rest in between each set, in between each leg, like maybe 30 seconds to a minute. For this set, high intensity set, 2 failure, then once I hit failure with that leg, set the weights down, do body weight sets. So yeah, let's get after it. one side. I rest about 30 seconds. So, that was today's leg workout. I'm gonna do a little bit of abs now, but I do abs every day, so there's no point in really showing you all my ab workout because it's the same thing. So, I normally do about 6 movements for leg day. I think that was 5 movements. So, it is kind of hard because I don't have the machines like at the gym, but I'm absolutely fried, dead. So I did get sufficient work in. Did a little bit more compound movements than I would, like that split squat right there. I consider that a compound movement. RDLs, compound movement. Squats, compound movement. I usually do about 2 compounds per workout. So that was 3, so I mean, I honestly feel like I worked my body a little bit harder than normal, which is okay. But the main point of this video, advanced training techniques. Pretty much everything. You're working up to failure for almost every set and in some form or way or another. And per workout, maybe do about 4 to 6 sets to complete failure. And then per workout, usually about 2 high intensity sets. I think I did actually 3 high intensity sets today, so that was a lot. I wouldn't recommend any more than 2, honestly. I should have only done 2. But you need to push yourself to failure, especially as an advanced lifter, especially as a natural lifter, because natural lifters don't have the extra, I guess you can say, like crutch, like the guys who are on the gear have. So like we have to work even harder. Not to say guys in gear work just as hard, if not harder, but just because we're natural doesn't give us an excuse to be babies and not train hard. We have to train hard. We have to push to our full potential. But we gotta be safe, like you saw there. In an advanced technique, you're still warming up several sets before every exercise, because you may be warmed up, you may be warm, but your mind isn't connected to that weight, so you need to do some warm-up rounds before each exercise. And typically, I'll do a few different rep schemes. We'll do like an 8-8-8 scheme where I'll work up in weight each set, or I'll stick to the one weight, do like 2 sets, not failure with it, and then I'll finish the last set to failure. So there's a bunch of different things you can do. There's not really one right or wrong way to do it. But the biggest thing with advanced training techniques is the intensity. We're not doing a whole lot of volume, because if you just do a whole lot of volume, you're most likely just not working very hard. So you're just doing a bunch of stuff to make up for that. Where there's some people who swear by volume training, but I think for where I am and just overall, you gotta just train hard. Worry about training hard in the first place. Then after you train hard, then you can get a little bit more concerned in volume, but you have to push it to your limits before everything else. Obviously though, before even that, just be safe, know your form, but you gotta train hard. So I'm gonna do my abs here, and then, yeah, so right now I'll call this good for this video. So hope you guys enjoy this workout. Seeing a little home gym I got here, it was really fun. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.